Hello and welcome to Wagner's Tech Talk. Today we're going to make use of the drives out of this old HP MediaSmart EX475. It's my old server. These drives haven't been used in well over a year. All the data on these drives is already backed up to my Synology DS918 Plus. Now that we have USB 3.0 support on the Raspberry Pi 4, it seemed like a great idea to go ahead and try and turn it into a NAS solution. So we'll go ahead and dust off these old drives. I mean literally, we're dusting off these old drives for this. So we'll use a CanaKit along with the Mediasonic 8-bay USB 3.0 external enclosure and of course OpenMediaVault. Let's get started. Before we begin, I have a few introductory comments that I'd like to get out of the way. First off, there is no USB 3.0 RAID support with OpenMediaVault in the Raspberry Pi 4, so if that's something you're looking for, this may not be the video for you. This software is beta, so I wouldn't use it for anything productive. Some long-running operations have been edited out of this video, particularly with the apply, as the video would be about 4 times longer if I included it. I will also show one method of setup with data sync from one drive to another, and I am exploring other solutions as well. My reasons for setting this up are purely experimental, so keep that in mind. I'll place links for all the items I used in this video below, so let's get started installing OpenMediaVault 5 Beta. We'll go to the raspberrypi.org downloads page and download Raspbian Buster. Just click the download zip, download it to your computer, and once downloaded, you can extract it with 7-zip. Again, links in the description. Alright, so now we will select the image, Raspbian Buster, click open, and we'll make sure that we have the correct microSD selected, and then we click the flash button. If you see any dialogues pop up, just go ahead and cancel them. Alright, so now let's go ahead and insert the microSD card into our CanaKit here. Link up above if you are interested in purchasing one of these. Alright, first we'll go ahead and plug in the keyboard and mouse into the USB 2.0 port. And then we will connect up the HDMI connection. Now the Ethernet, I'm using gigabit Ethernet here. And now we'll plug in the drives from the Mediasonic 8-bay and we'll apply power. You boot up, welcome to the Raspberry Pi desktop. First thing we're going to do is go ahead and change the time zone. I'm in the central time zone, so I'll go to Chicago. Tell it to use the US keyboard and hit next. And once it sets the location, then we'll enter a password, hit next. And now it's going to search for our Wi-Fi networks. So we'll go ahead and select ours, which happens to be Lucas. Hit next, give it the Wi-Fi password and it'll connect. And it'll try and perform an update here. Now we're going to open a shell. You could type sudo raspi-config if you want to modify the host name. And we'll type sudo su and basically go to the link below. It has these instructions. So you're going to want to copy and paste this block into your shell window. Press enter. And then down in the next block, there's a number of commands that we need to run individually. So we'll go ahead and select it, paste it into the shell, and repeat this for all the commands in the window. So I'm going to speed this up a little bit, and we're just going to go through and run all of these commands with the keyring, and the apt get update. And this command is about 6 lines long, so you want to copy the entire thing. And it'll take a while too. It'll take about 20 plus minutes to install. So I'm going to go ahead and fast forward here. And next we're going to populate the database. So we'll go ahead and select the command for that. And copy and paste. Just repeat all the way through till you get to the very end. And this last line here, it just shows you the login information, so it's kind of handy. So we'll go ahead and do that. And with that, we're going to go ahead and open Chromium right here on the Raspberry Pi 4. And we're going to just go to localhost, which is our OpenMediaVault server. And we'll go ahead and log in with the user admin, and the password is OpenMediaVault. And click Login. Okay, now that we're logged in, let's take a look around. General settings, you may want to set your auto logout to something higher than 5 minutes. Here you can set your passwords, date and time. I set mine for Chicago. You can set your time server here to sync up the time. You can go to network, you see the host name. There's various other tabs up here for interfaces, proxy, firewall. Those may be useful for you at some point. I didn't touch those. Under notifications, you can go in here and set up your SMTP server if you'd like to get email notifications. These are the various notifications. Update management, you can go in here to retrieve additional updates. Take a look here, go to settings. You can flip the pre-release update switch, community maintain updates if you want additional updates, and go to plugins. And this is one, LVM, which is kind of interesting. Allows you to span your drives and make a larger share, combining multiple drives. We'll go ahead and go to disks. And these are all the disks that I have currently connected. The very first one is the micro SD card. You can tell it's only 29.81 gigs. So we're going to carefully select SDA and click wipe. Now this is going to erase the data that's on the drive. So be very careful. Make sure you have backups of all your data before you even attempt this. Now we're going to go through very quickly and wipe all of these drives clean. And once we've done that, we'll go over to File Systems, and we'll click Create, and we'll select the first drive, which is the SDA drive. It's 1.81 terabytes, and we'll give it a label. I'll just type in disk 1, and we'll use the ext4 file system. And it'll begin initializing this disk. And we'll go ahead and do another one. We'll go ahead and select SDB, and we'll call this disk 1A. And the reason for that is we're going to duplicate the data from one drive over to the other. So I've just called it disk 1 and disk 1A. And at this point, the drive lights will be flashing like crazy. That's normal. Alright, we're going to go ahead and create another file system. I'll go ahead and set up C and D as well. Alright, we'll let this process finish. And once done, You'll see that they're online. The other two are initializing. We'll go ahead and click on this one and click Mount. This will mount the drives and make them available for us. And these apply dialogues, they pop up quite a bit, but I've cut out just about all of them in this video, except for that one, just to show you that it does show up there. Alright, so now we'll go to shared folders and we'll go ahead and create a share. So I'm going to select the first drive, disk 1, and I'm going to create the share name of disk 1 main. You can call it whatever you want. Hit tab, and I'm going to set the permissions here for everyone on my network to have read-write access. And we'll repeat the same thing for the backup drive. Next, we're going to go into RSync, and here you can select local or remote. We're going to select our source drive, which is going to be disk 1. And disk 1A is going to be our destination drive. Okay, for testing purposes, I'm going to go ahead and set this to a low number. I'll set it to every 10 minutes. Now, basically what RSync does is it synchronizes data from your source disk to your destination disk. So every 10 minutes, this is going to run. I'm going to go through and set the delete option here, so we'll have an exact duplicate of the data on disk 1 over on disk 2. Now we'll click on SMB or Samba, and we'll enable that, and I call my work group Universe, so I changed my work group to Universe here, and we'll go ahead and add some shares. So we'll select disk 1 main, and everything here looks fine, so we'll hit save. And we'll do the same for disk 1A main. And hit save. Now, one thing I did not change is the public settings. I'm going to say guest allowed, so any guest users on my network will have access to it. So I'll do that for disk 1 main. And we'll go in here to users, speaking of users, and we'll create one. I'll create one called John, Wagner's Tech Talk at gmail.com, enter a password, and click save. And we'll go back here into edit, go to groups, and we'll give this user some access. We'll make them a member of definitely the Samba share, so we'll check that. And we'll go ahead and give them SSH access. And that should about do it. So we'll click save here. And we'll go to our shared folders. And we'll go ahead and give John read-write permission. And admin, and hit save. Do the same thing for disk 1A. Alright, so now let's have some fun. Let's do some testing here. I'm going to go to my OMV server. I'm going to go ahead and log in. And we'll do that on both of these windows. Now, the source share is going to be on the left. This is our disk 1 main. And we're going to go ahead and create a subfolder. And we'll call it My Stuff. How about that? And notice on disk 1A main, there is no My Stuff. And we're going to click Start. And it's going to synchronize what's on the left to what's on the right. Of course, as we have it set now, it's going to happen every 10 minutes on its own, but we're going to go ahead and force it here. We're going to type in a README file, run that as well. And now we see the README file over on the right-hand side. Now let's do this. We're going to go in here and delete the README file on the right-hand side and see what happens. We run it, hit start, and the file is copied back. So it fully synchronizes what's on your source drive to your destination drive. Here we'll create another README file. We'll call it hehaul.txt. And we'll go ahead and enter some text here, just for fun. This file will get deleted. And we'll save it, exit, and we'll run it again. Hit start. And that file is deleted because it's not on our source drive. Now let's check out the data transfer speed. I'm going to drag in a video here. It's almost 1 gigabyte. So copy. Now I'm not editing any of this here, so you're seeing in real time exactly how long it takes and the speed that we're getting, roughly around 36 to 38 megabytes per second. That's a pretty decent transfer rate considering these drives are rather old. I'm impressed they still work. Okay, so let's now load up RSync. We're going to force a synchronization from disk 1 main to disk 1A main. So it should show up here. We're going to select run. And let's see how long it takes to transfer this 1 gigabyte file from one drive to the other. I didn't edit this at all. Wow, that was very fast. Alright, let's see if it'll play. Yep, we're on the disk 1A main. There's our file. We can move this window over so you can see it a little better. Welcome to Wagner's Tech Talk. Today we're going to take a look at the CanaKit for the Raspberry Pi 4 starter kit. That's right, it has just about everything you'll need except a monitor, a keyboard, and a mouse. Let's take a quick let's go into the final thoughts. For the most part, the setup was fairly smooth. I didn't have a whole lot of issues with the setup. The apply dialogues sometimes took a long time, and that's why I edited all those out of this video. I did receive a few error dialogues along the way, and I will be investigating other options, but yeah, for the most part, it worked pretty good for beta software. If you found this video helpful, please click the like button below, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And with that, we'll talk to you very soon.